Hello. So in this video, I'll be covering a little more zoom in into big me, small me. Yeah. More on big me. Yeah. And what I'm going to cover here is in terms of the number 11 and 12. Okay. Now, small me, yeah, is related with big me like sir and re. Like you have musical notation, classical music. So you have sir as the basic sound. It's also called shadjam in Indian classical music. Yeah. And re is the half note, first half note. Big me is like the first half note. And why I say half note is because a person, uh, if you go by the idea of the Shiva and Parvati or Adam and Eve, yeah, or Adam and Lilith, that's not so much heard, but you would have heard in terms of Shiva and Sati, yeah, uh, where Parvati is said to be the next reincarnation of Sati. Yeah. So if you think of it that way, um, every person is a complementary partner, is a complement to their partner. Yeah. Like behind every successful woman is a man, and behind every successful man is a woman. But if you take it even more simpler, behind every man is a woman, and behind every woman is a man. Yeah. So it's like back. It's like person behind you, but in a this relationship. Yeah. They're supporting each other back, like a body in the field. Yeah. Um, and so that's the visible and invisible kind. Yeah, one way to look at it. Um, but most simply put, we each have a small me and a big me. Yeah. The small me is like the 12 months of a year, or half a day is 12 hours. Yeah. A whole day is like this heart. Yeah. When you are in sync with your light self and shadow self. So your shadow self is like the person behind you. Yeah. And you could have lots of entanglements with your shadow self. Yeah. And to the point that, life is difficult and this is what's happening. They call it even the twin flames. And one of the big challenges with the twin flame is with not getting tangled. And it's not about all lovey-lovey, all lovey-dovey. There's a lot of entanglements. Yeah, it's like um, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be worked between the twin flames. Yeah. Um, that's like the masculine, it's like Osiris and Isis and Osiris. Yeah. He got historical and historical worth of concerns to be addressed between these two characters. Okay. So you'd say it's big, but to bring it very small, we each have a clock with 12 hours. A day is 24 hours. In my worldview, to be happily married to life, like fairy tale life, um, happily married to life, healthy, wealthy, wise, and not wanting to die anytime soon. Yeah, infinitely married. Takes you being in sync. Yeah. A body, me, little me, like me, a body is made up of 7 kinds of, you can't, Ayurveda calls it as dhatus, 7 dhatus. It's like the 7 colors of the rainbow. Yeah. Textures. Um, I will talk about it when we are talking more in details about in terms of yoga, but I'll just list it out. So there is the rasa dhatu, um, which is which is more like lymph. Rakta dhatu, which is blood. Um, um, Mamsa, which is muscle. Yeah. Asti, which is bone. Majja. Yeah. Have I missed something? Majja is bone marrow. Yeah. And then there is Shukra, which is semen. I've missed something here. What have I missed? This is why I said I will look it up. 1 minute. I used to keep saying this. What you are not as strong with is what you forget. Yeah, 1 minute. So there's rasa, rakta, mamsa. Before that, there's something else. Rakta, mamsa, majja. I should be doing this again. Wait. Okay, I got it. Rasa dhatu, lymph, rakta dhatu, blood, medusa, fat or cholesterol, mamsa, muscle, asti, bone, majja, bone marrow, shukra, semen. Yeah, 7. So you would think, oh, male, female, all of that. Shukra is more like, let's just say, reproductive fluid. Yeah, the vitality of the reproductive fluid. And these are kind of rough translations. They're not the exact, but there is the gross talking of it, meaning of it, and then there's a subtle of it. Yeah. We will cover that once I start talking in terms of my alphabets and how the alphabets are connected in words and sentences. So then universal language of love becomes more clear. Yeah, becomes easier to see what's the grammar that stories my life, by the weave of my life is by how I understand life and how I weave it together and then make the story of this is what life is and this is worth living, and it's all, the fairy tale happy story, and then how I maintain the health, wealth, wisdom of my life. Yeah, in a way that I can talk about all this. Yeah. So when we say 24/7 marriage to life, yeah, so there are 7 dhatus for little me, and then when little me is, I'm saying it's 12, yeah, keeping it together with the shadow self, yeah, so that we are not going into inflammation conditions, yeah, that's when diseases show up, and for that to happen, little me's relationship with nothing and everything, yeah, nothing and everything in particular needs to be fine and needs to keep improving regularly, which is what is represented by the Shri Chakra. Yeah. So we'll cover details about that. So it becomes easier to then see all of these big numbers. Yeah. So I'm talking in terms of 5 times 6. Yeah. Pancha Shatpita Rupena and all that. Yeah. Lalita Sahasranama. So it may seem a little complex, but it gets simpler and simpler. Then you'll see how easy and beautiful it is to build your fairy tale life. Yeah. And it's not something that, you wake up from. No, you live that life, what it takes to have such a life. Yeah. 12, little piece number is 12, like half a day. Yeah. For the full day, yeah, that's still, okay, this is more like basics. Yeah. And then this is like sir, and this is the half note re. And half note re, so this is like 1.5. Yeah, 1.5. A person is like 1.5. And then as the math improves, the numbers get better. Yeah. And then big me's number is 11. Yeah. That's where the masculine and feminine keep it together. Both are equally important. Yeah. So if you're a male, you're a little me male, your complementary partner would be a female. Yeah, because nature and nurture are made that way. Our human body formed from a sperm and an ovum coming together. Yeah, that's what forms a human body. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the shape of a human body. That's just given that. Yeah, and to have a human life, evolution deems it important to have a body that's human to and live in life in the multiverse. That's how Prakriti and Purusha are related. If you go back to ancient texts and how the book of Genesis and all of that is talking about how there's a complement that way. Yeah. So we see a rainbow spectrum in the gender also because different spheres of thinking, different cultures, it's like different people are in different stages of research and development. Like we have science people, we have sociology, we have ecology people studying soil. They're also studying the stars and planets. Similarly, a homemaker is studying their subject from the kitchen. Another person is looking through microscope and studying their subject from their station in life. So different people are in different levels of research and development in figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And people are trying to even go to, say, Moon and Mars and different places. And what does it take for us to have those results we'd like to have? So we have dreams. And then what does it take to have those dreams come true? Yeah. So this is kind of covering the science of it that I call as no technology. Yeah. And in that sense, so this is like a classic model of ecological economics. Yeah. So to speak. I have to find another word for it. At least it's classical model of, I was thinking standard particle physics. Yeah, but I'm thinking physics is like something like it. Not yet physics. It's physics like economics or like it, not yet it. Yeah. So we are yet to, or if we had already figured that out, then we would have no problem with going to Moon and Mars and different places. And we are still studying the planets and stars and all that. So we have some physics or something like what would be physics. Yeah. Or physiology. Yeah. Study of physiology. Physics is kind of there, but it's just a thought. Yeah. And then you have 12 little me. Yeah. So if you're a male, your number would be 12 and your complementary partner would be 11. So masculine and feminine are in equal regard. You have your mother and father, for example, both are equally important. Yeah. And also I'm saying me is like Advaita. Yeah. So there is no clash between you and there is no, it's like saying being one without a second. Yeah. In that sense, my capital M small capital I is like hours, the hour clock. Yeah. Big me is like the minutes hand in a clock. Yeah. And little me is like seconds. Yeah. One without a second would be Advaita. Yeah. Which do you have a minute? That's like half of it. And so they are related in that way. 60 seconds worth of distance run and 60 minutes make an hour that way. So we have some 60 here. Yeah, some nanoseconds there. Yeah. So there's a math to this. We'll come to that once we are more comfortable with 0 to 9. And then we have 10 to 19. Yeah, so there's a repeated pattern there. Once we get a little more comfortable with the numbers, the whole math of this becomes much more easier and simpler too. Then I told you it's a large language to then make derivations, which is less quote unquote mistakes. Yeah. Otherwise, there's a lot of money spent in, oh my goodness. Yeah. So then to get that base right, where your efforts are in the right direction and the path just keeps opening up, things keeps getting better. Yeah. So how do you have things get better? So in little time, what all you could make available, how you could put things together. So I'm 45 years old and I'm talking about all of this. So there is some, and I started my work in 2013, 2005 is when I was listening to the radio and heard my overtime who then I realized is my complementary partner. Yeah. And then, so the story kind of began in 2005. Yeah. And then since 2005, this is 2024, and I'm talking about all of this stuff. Yeah. And I have a retrospective, reflective method of learning. So I go back and forth, right up from my birth to what may have caused those conditions that had me be born to begin with. Yeah, that had me be me. Why am I like this? Why am I not like everybody else? So I had to figure that out. Yeah, to sort myself out and be in a position where I'm okay, you're also okay. And we are related at this point in time in this way, and what work we have to do, what role we have to play in the whole scheme of things to sort myself out. Yeah. So I can be related with you in a way that makes sense and adds value to all that there is and has a life be healthy, wealthy, wise, and not die anytime soon. Yeah. So got a little plan here. Yeah. So so that's my relationship with Satyam, the Sat, the dot, and Yam, all that there is. Yeah. So truth becomes better. Yeah. Truth math. Once we get our numbers and our alphabets and our dots, all that more clear, our math gets better. Yeah. Our economy becomes more ecological. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this has been of value to you.